Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. I thought for today we'd take a look at the first lesson for morning prayer from the first book of Kings. Remember, we read through Samuel. We saw the coming of the king, first Saul, then David, then Solomon. Now Solomon is dead and there's a fight over the kingdom, and the kingdom is becoming divided. So we're on chapter number 12, 1 Kings 12, 25 through 33. Then Jeroboam built Shechem and Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of the people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they shall kill me, and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel, and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And he set one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. And he made an house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, in the 15th month of the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah, and he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves which he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests in the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which had been made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. Okay, so we've gone full circle with the apostasy, haven't we? Right, the people of Israel were freed from slavery in Egypt, and they come to the promised land. And of course, part of that mess up as they were escaping was they made a molten calf while Moses was up on the mountain getting the law. They got a little antsy and built a molten calf. Now here we are, Jeroboam. The kingdom has been divided between Judah and Israel, and Judah is where Jerusalem is, and Rehoboam is the king of Jerusalem, of Judah, and Jeroboam is the king of the other 10 tribes, and he's gone apostate. He's now building false idols and getting people to worship there. Why? Well, he knows that the real, true, and living God calls for worship in Jerusalem, which does not have the sacrifice to idols, molten, calves and things like that, images of animals. There's none of that. And so Jeroboam falls into this. He figures if they go to Jerusalem and they do the real worship on the days that are appointed, well, then their hearts will be turned to the living God, and they'll start to follow Rehoboam. And as he says, then they'll kill me. And so his own preservation instinct, his own pride, he then makes these false images and offers sacrifice to an idol, right? So he has moved completely away from that relationship that God had between Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to be the one true and living God, and for him to be their chosen people, like their descendants to be the chosen people. They've moved away from that. And we see this throughout the history of the people of Israel. So unfortunately, nothing new here. And it will continue for generations. There will be a few moments of clarity for the 10 tribes, but for the most part, until the restoration after the Babylonian exile, for the most part, they will be on the outside looking in. And even Judah is going to eventually fall into such worship as well. So we can see that it's very easy for us to get so caught up in our own things that we begin to, well, quite frankly, worship ourselves. And that's what Jeroboam is mostly concerned about. So here we are. God help us. God help us all. So today is Wednesday. We have 12:15 Holy Communion and 4 o'clock evening prayer. And God willing, we'll see you in church.